All right, so ladies and gentlemen, fellow path hunters, a really awesome guest here today, Riley Bennett, me and my boy here.
What's happening? Woo! It's a beautiful day in Chiang Mai, man. It's so beautiful.
I love it because it's funny because I over in Canada right now it's freezing cold, man. In Toronto, like I see Snapchats and everything of like snow all the way up to your knees and everything. And here we're just enjoying like this backdrop right here right now and this amazing weather, man. Like what, man? So I don't know. It's pretty. You're feeling pretty grateful, right?
Dude, I'm feeling really grateful.
So the thing is that what for all our audiences, we're collaborating. Can you let my audience know that what do you do and like and a little backstory about as well too about personal life.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, how do we both make it out here? It really started. Well, first of all, like ever since being a kid, having a desire to travel, to explore. Like I wanted to be an astronaut and an archaeologist as a kid. I wanted to go to the moon. But really, it was after college I wanted to travel because I never got to study abroad.
Yeah.
And I heard a lot of stories of my friends studying abroad, and I was really jealous. And so after college, I actually visited Thailand for 2 weeks. And that's actually because Parker, who's here with me now, his last semester was study abroad, and he finished school after me. So basically it kicked off with that whole 2-week vacation to Thailand. We both flew home. I already had a corporate sales job for a year. Parker was now looking for his first job, and we're like, screw this, man. Thailand was amazing. Let's go back and let's just work there for a year. Let's do the work abroad experience. And so we moved into this 1-bedroom studio apartment, both of us, just to save money, because that was our goal. Save money, quit, and go out there. And there was this room separator, like sliding thing.
Oh gosh.
And it wasn't even like an official room. His bed was in there, and then my bed was in the common space. It's one room, and I would sleep on the couch. And my job was knocking doors, making commissions. Oh, you want to know the next big thing after smartphones? Very smartphones. And anyways, our mission was just to go back to Thailand, and we didn't really know what we were gonna do. So the major key was we would watch YouTube on our Apple TV. We didn't have cable. Ironically, that's what I was selling, cable TV subscriptions. We didn't have one ourselves.
Dude, so you were working out here? So you were just going in?
No, we had moved back. This is after the trip.
Okay.
We moved back to Seattle.
All right.
To Bellevue, where we're from.
All right.
And we're in a 1-bedroom apartment. And he worked at the Marriott. I worked for Comcast, corporate job. And started watching YouTube, travel videos about Thailand, and we found Johnny FD's video.
Everybody always finds Johnny, man, one way or another. I did too.
So grateful for that, for Johnny's blogging about this lifestyle. And in 1 month, I'm going to be speaking at his conference, which is crazy.
I know.
Which is crazy.
So
we came a long way. And basically through that video that we found on YouTube, we were like, oh my God, this digital nomad thing, that sounds way better than teaching English. How do we do this? And then like 6 months after following his blog, he announced there's a big summit, a big conference about e-commerce happening in Chiang Mai, October 14th or October 7th, 2014. And we were like, dude, that's our excuse. We have to go to that conference. We're gonna meet everyone. We're just gonna go figure it out. So we put that on the wall. We had these big like poster boards on the wall. We're writing Thailand. Like we fucking mind fucked ourselves into doing like we're like, if this guy can do it, we can do it. So it really comes down to a sincere desire, guys. You really gotta want it bad, but at the same time, you have to pay attention to how others are doing it. And so we came out to the conference, we quit our jobs, and we met a kid named Kai who was crushing it on Amazon at the conference. And I have videos with Kai that you guys know. And rest is history. We tried the Amazon method, and
dude, was it scary?
It was scary.
Was it scary to leave everything behind?
We each had, well, it would have been scarier solo, so we are kind of lucky to have like a tag team member to do it with. That's a super blessing. But you can do it yourself totally. Like everyone else is doing it by themselves, and they're totally fine.
I did it.
Paul did it. So many guys just came out here, and the cool thing is, right when you come to Chiang Mai, there's meetups, weekly meetups that you will just immediately meet all your other nomad friends in the exact same boat. So then again, like your online business doesn't necessarily always succeed the first time. Like we had troubles. Our first test order, there was a copyright issue. We had to scrap it, and then last minute we tried another prototype product. It ended up doing pretty well, and that one product selling for $39.99 has been paying for both of me and Parker's full-time income out in Chiang Mai for the last 18 months.
So the thing is, like, I didn't want to graze off a little bit about that. So like the thing is that you did try to start a business and then it didn't go full well.
Yeah.
You know, and then what made you keep going though? Like what made you, like, what was the drive? Because you're already out there already. You're already out here already.
Yeah.
And just, you're like, you know what? It's time to start again, right?
Yeah, we were just like, it's the fear of going home and having to start over and save money.
That's the worst.
So I always tell people, like, we saved up about 10 grand each. So it's important if you're gonna, you know, leave it all. You gotta have some money. You gotta have some time.
It's good to have numbers.
So that was like 10 grand was like our 6 months of living in Chiang Mai, plus some investment money. So, but it, like our drop shipping store that we had for a few weeks, that wasn't profitable. And then we tried to order an Amazon private label thing from Alibaba in bulk, and that got scrapped. But we got 80% of the money back, luckily, from the supplier. And then we had $2,000 left each in our bank account around. And then so we're like shit. So we put $1,000 each into 300 units. So $2,000 total into 300 units of this prototype product, which was kind of innovative at the time, and ended up selling more than 10 per day. And we're like, oh shit. So we put in 2 grand, got back 3.5 grand, but we had to spend that to keep living in Chiang Mai. So luckily we went to a good family friend. We showed him the business plan. We're like, this product is hot. Like, we need money. We need a business loan for inventory. So we got that for 1,000 units, and that's what kicked it off. Like most businesses, you need an investment, and we got that. So
was it scary just going through all that risk, man? Like, was it?
Oh, for sure, man. Yeah. Like, we were gonna get a loan from this one other company that was gonna do it. Like, they loaned for inventory, and then that fell through. So it was like 3 months of no income. But luckily, we got a loan and like upgraded the product a little bit, sent it to Amazon, and it kept doing well.
How long ago was this? Was this recent?
This was, yeah. So our upgraded product, the one that still crushes now, launched July of 15. So it's just about 18 months of doing
That wasn't
well.
that long ago.
No.
That's crazy. And then you've been here ever since, and it's just been good, and you've just been playing around with the different avenues as well too.
Playing around, yeah. So, so from 2015 summer to 2016 summer, that was our first. That was our second year of living abroad. So when we came back home, summer of 15, we were like, that was a fun year. Like, we need to be documenting this. And so, being a big fan of YouTube, like, I hadn't watched TV for years. Like, I love travel vlogs. I love, like, Casey Neistat, like Jabril, like the Louis Cole, all the YouTubers. So I'm like a YouTube guy. So I was inspired to buy the G7X that's filming right now, strapped onto a chair in this beautiful background in Thailand.
It's perfect.
And so I was like, I gotta buy the G7X. And so that was, ordering that G7X, I didn't even have the cash, because this was like the month our product launched in the summer of 15. I put it on a credit card. I put it on one of those Amazon loan credit cards. But it was the best decision of my life. So we decided to move back out to like, our plan was just to visit home for the summer. Yeah. So, and then choose a new city. So the new city was Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, like the New York City of Vietnam. So I show up with the G7X, and my first official YouTube video, like official one, was like September 10th.
I gotta look that up later.
2015. Yeah. It's called "Arriving in Vietnam," and it's my first official music video. And there's no music. It's the only video on my channel with no music. And so I look back at that like, why did I forget to put music on this? But it starts in Seattle and it goes on the plane, and we arrive in Ho Chi Minh, and crazy motorbike swarms, and we're just like, oh my God. So that was September of 15, and then it is December of 16 now. So like a year and 3 months, and I'm almost at 10,000 subscribers now. So just been filming, doing like at least one video every week for a year consistently. We lived 6 months in Vietnam. We've lived over this last year maybe like 6 months in Chiang Mai. Yeah. Actually maybe 4 months in Chiang Mai, 2 months in the Philippines, and then we were just in Africa on a road trip around Kenya visiting our friend who does business down there. Yeah. So yeah, just been filming, and it's been fun.
Dude, nothing. I love the story because like it's just man, it's crazy. I didn't want to graze over like all the parts because like number one, like it's kind of cool that you had Parker with you. So like for me, like I did it alone. I had to like quit because like none of my like I have best friends and stuff, but they're not willing to take the risk.
Yeah.
So did you like have a like did you and Parker like what I mean, like he was willing at the same time. It was, like I said, it's cool because he met you at the same place. You know what I mean? I like the same mindset level. It was like, okay, let's fucking do this. Let's get out there. And again, it helps a lot when you have a buddy to go.
Exactly. That was we realized, like we're a little bit lucky to, like we grew up together since like third grade.
Why.
Like we're totally on the same mindset. Like we grew up like, listening to like Lil Wayne and like big timers and stuff. Like just like, I just picture living that life, just like being able to just be hanging out with your crew, not having a job, do whatever you want, fly to Paris, like to party like P. Diddy. So we just like wanted to live that rock star lifestyle.
You are, actually.
As they say. And this is kind of our own version of doing it, just working online and doing the new freelance life, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. And why YouTube? Like, you know what I mean? Like your YouTube channel didn't start that long ago. So the thing is like, why YouTube? Like, why not, podcasting, or why not just write a blog and do, you know what I mean? Like it's just, or there's so many other platforms you could have used.
Yeah. Well, I've always been filming. Like what people don't realize is before I even bought this Canon PowerShot camera, like the whole first year in Chiang Mai, I was basically filming on Snapchat like every day. Like so many snaps. I don't know anyone that Snapchats more than me, and I still do. But I was documenting basically the whole first year just unofficially on Snapchat.
You using Instagram Story?
I'm not using Instagram Story right now. But yeah, my Snapchat like followers are like going up too, which is kind of cool, and I have a lot of like Kenyan Snapchat fans now, like from that whole trip. Anyways, it's really fun, and I've been recording ever since I was a little kid. Like in middle school, I used to voice record people and like chop that up and make little comedy skits, and we used to sell comedy CDs in middle school. And then in high school, I used to make beats. I did this like MIDI composition class, and I used to make beats and shit. So I'm always creating, and I'm always that kid taking pictures and snapping, and so this is just the next level.
Yeah. And I like that because, give or take, you're always creating, you're being consistent, you're showing up, you're doing the work. It's just, would you say that's really important as well too, being consistent?
Yeah. Like Johnny was asking me the same thing, like what's the secret? It's really just the obvious stuff. Obviously be consistent, be yourself, of course, and then like you got to be entertaining. It's like, you got to entertain. People come to YouTube to either be entertained or be informed. So be entertaining, be creative, just do you, create and be real.
Yeah. Man, and so do you have any like passion projects or anything you're working on right now?
Like this is my passion project. I want to just travel the world and make videos and just follow in the footsteps of Jabril, who we just randomly met in Bangkok. Like Jabril was like our favorite YouTuber and probably the biggest influence over the channel Livin That Life, the idea for it, because Jabril was one of the only like online business, quote unquote, digital nomad type channels that focused on like the nightlife and the lifestyle. And we're like, there needs to be more channels focusing on the lifestyle around the business, because it's not just about the business. The whole goal of the business is the lifestyle. Yeah. And so we were like, let's do a channel that just talks about the partying more and the lifestyle and all that stuff. And that was the inspiration behind the channel Livin That Life.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it, man. That's crazy. So like, where do you see your channel growing in the future? Like, where it's going to be in like 2 or 3 years from now?
I have no idea. I'm just going to keep creating and be real. I do know that we want to get a drone soon.
Nice.
And just, follow Casey Neistat he's like everyone's filmmaking idol. And so we just want to keep creating.
Go with the DJI.
Yeah, we're going to get the DJI Mavic when it comes out.
Yeah.
So it comes out next month. So
love that brand.
Big stuff to come out. Enough about me. I hope they haven't called my name. I'm sure they have. Anyways, I'll go in later.
That's hilarious.
So I met Paul like last week, and he's like, "I got a podcast." So I was like, "Dude, we got to do a podcast." So tell me your story. Like, I knew from Toronto, like your whole background and how you got the balls to come out to Chiang Mai and why'd you start a podcast and everything.
Man, my story starts way back in 2013. I would say. Been working. A corporate 9-to-5 job, following like life's, blueprint, right? You know, you go to
exactly.
you go to school and you graduate, and then you get a job and you climb the corporate ladder, and then boom, right? So I did that in 2011. I got hired by an insurance company, worked for a little while, got laid off twice. So 2013 was the
Big
second
companies?
time. Smaller company. It was a
Okay.
smaller company that was up and coming, but it was interesting because I stuck with them because of all the experience and everything. So,
Yeah.
you know, you get to learn sales and all that stuff. But anyways, laid off in 2013, moved over, moved back home when mom and dad was a little depressed and was going through all these things.
Yeah, man,
And then
yeah.
mom and dad was like, you know what, let's go to Vietnam. Check out your homeland, because I'm Vietnamese.
Oh, sweet.
So they're like, you know what? I was like, you know what? There's nothing to lose. I said, why not? Just go.
Good.
And it was literally transformational.
Yeah.
It was transformational. That was
Awesome.
like I was blown away how like all the children I've met, you know, they're so bright, but they're so smart. You know, they're so smart.
Yeah.
But like they were just out there making a buck and hustling, literally
Yeah.
hustling for the next meal. And then everything about that whole life is just amazing, right? So somewhere during that whole entire trip, I was like, you know, I really want to take advantage of everything what Canada and North America has to offer, opportunities or anything, to build a business, to impact people in a positive way. So I had to go back, and I was ready. I was on the attack, and I was focusing on how do I start a business, but I didn't know where to start. I didn't have any clarity or anything whatsoever. I had no idea. Like corporate 9-to-5 guy, that's all I knew.
Yeah.
I thought like, you know, being rich is like saving money until you're 65.
Yeah,
and then-
401k, exactly, man. That's the system. It's the system.
Yeah,
hey.
yeah. So it turns out it's actually not the case. So did that. What I did was that I was being intentional. I went out to like seek out like where all the entrepreneurs hung out in Toronto.
Good.
Went out to meetings, everything I can, and you know they always say that if you're in a room and you're the dumbest person in the room, that's the way to go.
Yeah.
Because everyone else is like at this point, and you know, if you ask them and talk about their business usually, and it's good, and they get to choose which avenue you want to go, kind of like it's kind of a catalog kind of deal.
Yep.
So,
Exactly.
good friend of mine now today, you know, Jay Wong. He's a host of the Interchange Maker. Had like, really big podcast. Took me under his wing, showed me the ropes.
Fuck yeah.
Started my podcast as well. To launched this year actually, June of this year.
Wow.
Launched it. So again, this all happened like, you know, I would say 18 months ago.
When you met Wong.
Jay
Wong.
Wong. Yeah. So I did all that, learned all this. I knew I wanted to start out this, and launched it. It was completely amazing. But the thing is that I still didn't know I didn't know about the digital nomad community until like
Yeah.
18 months back.
Ah.
And I wanted to do more research, so I interviewed digital nomads,
Sweet.
right?
Oh, so
as
you're doing
a way,
the Skype interviews.
yeah,
I
to
gotcha.
Skype interviews, to conduct these interviews on how everybody gets started. But I was still working my corporate 9-to-5 at the same time,
Good.
kind of making an exit plan kind of deal.
Yeah, you gotta hack yourself out of it, man. You did.
So it's funny because I was really I'm very transparent on my podcast. Everybody knew that I was working a corporate 9-to-5 job. I was like the human guinea pig.
Yeah.
So 5 weeks ago, I was actually working my corporate 9-to-5.
Whoa,
Quit that.
really?
3
Dude.
weeks, I know.
It's
And,
a blessing.
and then 3 weeks back, I booked my flight to Chiang Mai, Thailand, because I knew Johnny FD, Erica Blair, like all these amazing people. And it was just like blown away. It's like Chiang Mai, there's something there. I had to go. I had this feeling, this inner feeling that I needed to go. Sold everything, dipped out here, and you know, I've been here ever since, and been documenting the whole entire process. I've, you know, go with the adage of like Gary Vaynerchuk. You know,
Yeah, of course, man.
document.
Dude, my friend just met him randomly too in New York.
Man.
Or not randomly. Anyways, Gary Vee is the best.
Gary Vee. So I love the guy. So now this is where we're at today. So I'm here with you, sitting here, this amazing view. And it's just truly a blessing. And all this happened in a little over a year.
Wow, dude.
Mind shifts.
Guys, you have to.
Mind shifts, man.
He did it by the book. You know what I'm saying? He wanted something, so he hung around people that were doing that. You know, being an entrepreneur, and then he was curious about the digital nomad life, so he interviewed them, and then eventually, what you speak about, you eventually become. And so you quit your job. Huge congrats, man. So you probably have some corporate money saved up for your living out here?
Yeah,
Okay,
so it's
good.
a huge experiment. I saved a lot of money, about $10,000 as well, and then that way paid off all my debts, and then left with, you know, a little bit under 5 now. And then so it's building, grinding, building the business, building the podcast. It's been crazy, man. It's been fun, unreal.
Dude, yeah,
So I'm
you've
excited.
been grinding with the podcast. Like, how many have you done, and like, what's your like overall vision for that?
So yeah, so podcast, I can only imagine myself doing it full time, like forever, for like next 20 years or more.
So fun, right?
It's so fun, man. It's kind of like you and YouTube, right? It's the same
Yeah.
thing. I've dabbled with YouTube, and it's always, I would say we would even need to like switch up once in a while to keep that as an extension of ours. So like still have the YouTube and the podcast, but like still do both.
Yeah.
So that way it gets you more out there and everything like that. But the plan is now is just growing it, having possibly in a year from now, having speaking engagements. I'm launching my book in 2 or 3 weeks or so.
Woo!
I know, I didn't do, I know.
Yeah, congrats, man. I'm so lazy to do a book.
I decided 4 weeks ago I wanted to write a book.
Good shit, man.
I just wrote it.
Awesome.
I just wrote it. And then after that, shortly, I'm going to be launching a course as well, online course. And
that's the way to go, baby.
I know. It's going to be just, think of me like the Asian Lewis House kind of deal. So.
Heck yeah, man. Wow, the sky is the limit. That is beautiful. So, wow, this is like really your first 2-3 weeks in Chiang Mai.
It is.
So like so you had been to Asia before.
Yeah.
You were in Vietnam.
Yeah.
When you got to Chiang Mai, like what was your impression? Like what'd you think?
Dude, it was unreal. The second day I met Trevor and Juliana. And Juliana was like, oh, you know, you're Paul from the Path Hunters podcast. I was like, yes.
She knew you.
She knew me right away. I was like, oh,
Sweet.
sweet. I was like, I was unreal. So humbled by that because I'm so thankful by her. So I met up with Juliana and Trevor and everything like that, and we just hung out. I was featured on their podcast as well, man. It's crazy. The cool thing is that, you know, Chiang Mai, there's actually no place like it on earth. People are so welcoming here because they know that what you've been through.
Yeah, because we're on the same boat.
Yeah.
Exact same boat, which is amazing.
It's like the Matrix kind of deal. After you take like was it the blue pill or the red pill or whatever?
Yeah.
Morpheus, and you kind of.
You take the red pill, it's like there's no going back, right?
Yeah.
And people were like, so how long you be traveling for? When you come back, it's like, once you realize like people out here don't live normal lives. Like we are completely free to live in any city in the world.
Yeah.
And like that one quote, the world is a book, and people that only live in one place only read one page.
Yeah.
People that don't travel only read one page, right? So we're just reading the book of the world.
Yeah, no, it's so true, and it's amazing because like every time I step outside, like everyone is always doing something, you know, one way or another. You know, like they're up to something amazing, and it's crazy, man. It's just
it's like what I call it is Chiang Mai is like it's like an outsourced like San Francisco. Meaning like the entrepreneurialness of it,
Yeah.
but crammed into one like pretty small city,
Yeah.
Which is Chiang Mai. So like I'm riding my motorbike and I always see just like nomads that I know walking on the sidewalk or see them on the motorbike. Like Chiang Mai is someplace where you literally always run into people you know.
Yeah.
Compared to like Saigon, Ho Chi Minh is real big for entrepreneurs, and Bangkok, but those are massive, huge, another universes, cities.
Yeah.
And so less likely to run into people, and that's why people love Chiang Mai.
Man, it's crazy. And yeah, man, like I just wanted to wrap up really quickly with my questions really quickly for the podcast. You know, so the podcast is called the Path Hunters Podcast. When you hear that name, Path Hunters, what comes to mind?
Path Hunters. Well, the first thing that came to mind was the Headhunters, which is an artist, and they make EDM music, fucking hardcore techno music. Do you know what that is?
Yeah. I do actually.
I'm just gonna go right into my anecdote because that actually relates to my anecdote. So, at the beginning of the podcast, we mentioned how beautiful of a day it was, and I was kind of reminiscing on the motorbike ride over here, is maybe 20 minutes, and I was bumping the Headhunters.
Yeah.
Bumping the Headhunters to meet the Path Hunters podcast. And I was just like thinking, like yesterday I got invited to speak at my first conference, and it was just the most beautiful, crisp, clear blue sky I've seen in Chiang Mai, like in a long time. And I took this one Snapchat, and it was just so beautiful. And then a couple songs came on back to back. I'm riding my motorbike, and I was just dipping down the freeway, and riding my motorbike is when I'm in my happy place. It's one of the funnest things in my life. And a couple songs came on, and this Headhunter song came on. First of all, it hits me really hard because it brings me back to Saigon, Vietnam.
Yeah.
Partying at this one club called Ace. And some of the happiest times, like we would always go there and pop bottles. So some of my happiest memories are from this one Headhunter song. They would always play it at this club. And it came on my motorbike, and it's like, I was just feeling so good. Like last night, I was listening to these daily affirmations. And so I woke up really happy today. and I was like feeling so good, and a song came on, and it was so beautiful outside. Like, you know how the music sometimes moves you? Like, I started crying.
I know.
I started crying. I started shedding tears of joy. Like, it's happened a couple times out here when I just like realized how blessed we are. I was just like, oh, but this song feels so good, and it's so beautiful, and the warm wind is in my face, and I'm driving, and I'm jipping, and I was just like, oh my God, we're so fucking lucky. Like, we came so far in 2 years. Like, it's incredible how exciting and free and fun our lives are compared to just 2 years ago, you know, waking up and going to work like everyone else. So that was my little anecdote. I was like, I got here in the parking lot to this big mall, and I was just like, wow, I gotta wipe my tears, man. That was like, I got caught up driving over here, man. I was in tears of joy.
No, it's understandable, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're living this dream that, you know, to some people even back home, they think it's exotic, right?
Exactly. We had such a big dream, and like, this is our dream, and like you said, we're literally, it sounds cheesy, but we're living our dream right now, like just within 2 years. Like, granted, the dream did start about 4 years ago. Like, my entrepreneurial dream, when we first picked up like the cash flow quadrant and figured out, oh shit, I want to be an entrepreneur, not an employee. That started about 4 years ago. So it takes years. But now we're living it, and I was just like, sometimes like it gets better, guys. It gets better. Like, I was in a dark place, you know, living in my parents' home as well. Like, just like, sometimes you don't even realize it, but you're like kind of depressed, and like looking back, I was like, yeah, I actually kind of was too. But it gets better, guys. Like, maybe in a few years you'll be out here crying tears of joy with me. It's just in tropical climates, and like just all the palm trees, and just it makes you happy. And so, to answer your question, path hunters is kind of exactly what I was just describing. Is just sometimes you don't know your path. You just got to start somewhere, and then your path kind of molds like water just flowing. It just goes. And keep putting out positive vibes and talking about your dreams, talking about what you're into, and then the law of attraction, you'll meet people either online or in person that are doing the same thing, and things will just start happening. So
dude, that's, and honestly, I appreciate that. I appreciate you for like just being vulnerable and telling me about that and everything. It's amazing, man. It's you know, it's funny because the other day I started bawling my eyes as well too. I'm like, you know, I can't believe I've gone so far. It's only been like 18 months. And it's just so much. I'm excited for what's to come, actually, and I'm ready to take this on. And so my last question for you now is like, you imagine this. I'm gonna paint this picture for you. So if you're on the side of the road, let's just say you're at like Neiman over here or something like that, and you're able to write one sign, all right, in English, and it's a message or advice that you would give to impact someone's day, what would it be?
You know what, I've actually written, like, I never write stuff on bars, like when the pens, people write stuff on the wall, but do you know what I've written before? Like, kind of like my mantra or something that has incredible value, is I drew the cash flow quadrant.
Oh,
like I just mentioned,
nice.
I drew the cash flow quadrant like on some bar in Chiang Mai with chalk. I was like, what can I write? Like, I never draw, but what can I draw? I was just like bored. I drew the cash flow quadrant and explained it, like the arrows, the cash. I was just like, that little diagram started me on my path.
It would change someone's life.
I would spray paint, like, if you know, if they could understand what it is, like employee, money, no, time, too much time, not enough money, you know, business owner, you know, systems working for you. So I've gone from employee knocking doors, individual commissions, to now I have a product selling online that's automated, and I can wake up whenever I want. So I would spray paint the cash flow quadrant and be like, underneath, living that life. YouTube.com/living that life.
I love it. That's crazy, man. I love it.
Or the 4-hour work week. Read the 4-hour work week. That has gotten us a lot. That's gotten tons of people out here too. He's like the original digital nomad, Tim Ferriss, the 4-hour work week. You probably already know about that, but if you don't,
he's like the
get
king.
The book. Yeah, the king. He's Jesus.
Yeah.
Praise the almighty Ferriss.
Love it. All right, man. Wow. Yeah, no, it's amazing. I appreciate you. You know what I mean? Like Riley, man. Just thank you for doing what you do, man. Thank you for being an inspiration. You are impacting people's life in a positive way, man.
And that's the coolest thing about it. Like, the favorite part of my day is reading comments in the morning, like, dude, fucking sick video, thank you, I'm actually coming to Chiang Mai. Like, and like now it's like a year plus into my channel, I'm actually meeting the kids that watched my video 6 months ago, and they're actually here.
Yeah.
So
I seen that happen actually the other day. Yeah.
at the meetup.
Yeah.
Someone's like, dude, Riley. I was like, oh, what's good? He's like, dude, yeah. Remember me? I messaged you. I was like, oh yeah. He's like, I'm here. And like yesterday, a kid actually, he's second year in college, a Singaporean kid, messaged me like last week. He's like, man, I'm here on vacation to explore the digital nomad lifestyle. Like, I know you're the guy to talk to. I want to have dinner with you. And I invited him to the meetup. We chopped it up. So yeah, it's cool. Come out here. I'll see you here. Or catch me. My goal is to travel the world. So next year I'm going to South America and going around the world. So catch me if you can. Well, the chuggas.
I'm gonna try. So.
Just getting started. That was dope, man. Thanks for being on. And Path Hunters Podcast. If you guys are watching this on my channel, hey, what's up? Path Hunters Podcast. Link will be below. Go download that ish. Share it with your friends. And my video podcast will be imported to iTunes soon, so that should be on. Put all the audio on there.
Yeah.
So, blessings, guys. See you guys around the world. Thanks, bro. That was sick. Peace. Sick.
Loved it.
Dude.
Love your flow, man.
That was good. That was great.